Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Neville Campbell. And today I have Andrew with me, the owner and operator of ProLevel Recovery here in Georgia, one of the leading companies focused on patients recovering. Whether you're an athlete, someone that's injured in an accident, this is the place to go. Andrew, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Doc. I
Hey, man.
appreciate it. Yes, sir.
It's been a while since I've been wanting to talk to you, man.
Yes.
First of all, how old are you? I have to ask that because when I look at you and I'm like, okay, he's the owner and operator of ProLevel Recovery, and I know that they're doing exceptionally well. They're expanding, but he looks like he's in his 20s.
Yes.
What's happening, brother?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think?
I don't know, man. Talk to us.
I'm 33. 33.
Dude, man,
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
At 33 years old, it seems like you're really doing something well for the space.
Yes. I'm passionate about it, right? And I've been a patient in the space since, essentially my whole life, right? And so I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom from my father, as you know, who's been in the space, on the practice since 1999, and so I'm not in it alone. Right?
Gotcha.
Right. I have a great team right behind me, right, that are guiding me in the right direction.
So you mentioned passion in the space, like passion and sort of this is what I'm assuming is driving you in the space. You talk about you also being involved personally, and being an athlete, also being a patient, and how that has led to your now understanding of what athletes see, what patients see, and combining both in terms of advocacy. Let's back up a little bit and talk about your career as an athlete.
My career as an athlete started from, or I would say since, like a lot of athletes, at 5 years old, right? And they advance and play different sports. When I was in ninth grade, I had a lumbar fusion, right? And so a lot of high school athletes don't go through a low back surgery, right, in ninth grade and continue to play a contact sport, right? And so ever since I was 14, 15 years old, I had to deal with a low back surgery, right?
And chronic pain from that.
And making sure that I could advance in my sport, right, with this injury, right? And the sport I played is 100% injury rate. And so even though I had that injury in ninth grade, I had a meniscus tear in my freshman year in college and an AC joint separation my sophomore year in college, right? And then a patellar tear when I was a professional athlete, right? And so being on your table, battling these different injuries and going to get RFAs, right, and branch blocks, I can understand exactly what patients are going through and what they need to do to recover from it, because I essentially recovered from it at the highest level.
Wow, folks, powerful. That was so much that was said in that one one statement there. We got to take some time to break that down and deconstruct that a little bit.
Maybe let them know what RFA is.
No. Before we even go to what RFA is, this man just went through the medical textbook in interventional pain management. But we'll talk about that just now. But most people, right? Most athletes at that early age, having gone through a lumbar spine surgery, and if you guys know what a lumbar spine surgery is, I look at this every day. The majority of my patients have back surgery. It's no joke. The surgery may fix something structural, but the pain still remains. And when pain still remains, quality of life is not the same.
100%.
Much less to even play contact sports. People can't even get up out of bed, do dishes, navigate a flight or two of stairs. Laundry becomes the most challenging thing, but you continue to play contact sports. Talk to me. What was the mindset at this time?
Yeah, so we have to get into mindset, because that's just it, mindset, right? So I spoke on my father, right, and I have cousins and brother-in-laws, right, that played professional football as well, right? So I've seen it done at the highest level, and then I've seen my mom and dad go to work every day, right? And so that's built a work ethic, right, in me, et cetera, that allowed me to push forward And my rehab process essentially is, most people when they work out or when they do rehabilitation, their plan of care or their sets may be 3 sets of 10,
Mm-hmm.
for a certain exercise, right? Or maybe even 4 sets of 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
With my father, we're doing 10 sets of 10, right?
Ah,
We're holding exercises for not not 2.5 minutes. We're holding core exercises for 5 to 10 minutes, right? So that also built a level of confidence, right? Another level of work ethic, right?
yeah,
That allowed me to get back out there, right? To know that I can do this. Um, so yeah, I think that's the mindset, right?
yeah.
Of really having that work ethic and going above and beyond and going to conquer whatever it is you want to conquer.
You know what? That's so powerful. Talking about pushing beyond your limits, talking about staying in the spaces of uncomfortableness in order to achieve growth. It seems like your dad understood that. And because he
100%.
understood that, he instilled that in you. Not because you wanted it to, but because he knew that it was necessary.
There you go.
We're going to talk about parenting in a little bit because I'm going to segue into that in terms of how you're managing your children right now, given that your dad was this way. Was it the right way? But we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a second. Um, what I want to talk a little bit more, though, on currently is some people would say that it was luck that got you back in the game. Some would say maybe it was fate, and others would say it was God. What would you say got you through all those times? You mentioned several injuries,
Right.
you know, a shoulder injury,
Right.
a patella injury, right? A back surgery, but yet still climbing to the highest, level in sort of sports that we see currently. You're a professional football player, despite all these injuries. Is it that Destin just had it for you to do this? Seemed like there was some hard work mingled into it too.
I would say it's all three.
Okay, how so?
I would say there's definitely luck involved, um, in in a lot of people's success, right? As an undrafted player, right? I was, last on the depth chart. Yeah, I worked hard to move myself up the depth chart, but essentially somebody had to get injured, right? And not be able to play for me to go prove that I can play, right? So that's a little bit of luck, right? I got lucky that I was on a team where the starter and the backup got hurt that allowed me to go play, right? If those starters played the whole year, maybe I would have never played and never got
Yeah,
signed to year two and year three. And I would have been an undrafted kid that played, 1 year, right, and was done, right? So it's a little bit of luck, right? And then also faith, right? We speak on faith. Um, I'm very, I'm a faith driven person, right? I don't carry a lot of anxiety because because of my faith, right? I believe in you reap what you sow, you put in what you get out, um, or you get out what you put in, right? And that work ethic, right, is going to surpass, right, any anxiety that you might have,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
And then overcoming mindset, right? Overcoming adversity, right? You have to be. Everybody's going to face adversity in their life, and it's how you respond, right? As everybody knows,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to separate, right? Somebody, going to play 8 years versus,
Yeah,
somebody, playing 1 year.
man.
Yep.
Seems like the preparation that your dad put you through, all that stuff that I know when I was younger, and my parents would tell me to do stuff. I would roll my eyes. They're trying
We
to
all
stress
did.
me out
We
and
all,
too
yeah,
much,
yeah.
not understanding that they're instilling lessons because your dad having put you through those extra drills, when it was time, you were prepared. And that's the key thing. People say, "Are you lucky?" Yes, luck plays a role,
But
but
preparation.
preparation
There you go.
also plays a major role because if the opportunity presented itself and you weren't ready, you still could not have seized that opportunity to have done what you've done. So I think you're absolutely correct when you say it's not one, it's not, it's a
It's a
combination of them all.
of it all.
And I think if there's anything else that I've been trying to instill in my children, that's the lesson I'm trying to instill in them too. That now things are a certain way, but while you have time now here, then you can be preparing for something else, especially if that's a dream or that's a goal, because
100%
you never know when those skill sets, when that preparation
gonna be
will be
needed.
needed. And if you're not ready, then that opportunity will likely
Okay.
pass you by.
Yeah. Each stage is preparing you for the next.
Man,
Yeah.
so tell me about advocacy. So given that you've gone through this system, you of being a patient, being treated, being injured, and also climbing sort of, the ranks nonetheless. How has this, has shaped your approach now to your overseeing pro level recovery?
Continuous communicative care, right? What I saw from the general public was, and from myself, right? And because from an athlete, you live in a bubble, right? And so you go into a bubble and you have everything at at your disposal, right? And in the real world,
Mm,
it's essentially not like that. Um, for multiple reasons, as you know, right? And being able to provide that from a conservative therapy
mhm,
standpoint, right? I believe is super important, right? And partnering with like-minded individuals like yourself to where if we can't help that patient, we know who can help you, right?
mm.
Um, and the person that we send you to is going to provide that same level of care that you're expecting. Um, and so I would say that's it. It's providers communicating with each other, right? As in the workers' comp world, they might be referred, and that referral might not be sent in weeks or months, right? And so that patient is in pain,
Mhm.
right, for an extended period of time. But in the athletic world, right, we receive that care the next day,
Mm.
right? I believe, it doesn't, an injury is an injury.
Yeah.
And so why do I have to wait a day or two, but somebody else has to wait a month, right? And there's like we can go into it. There's different reasons,
Yeah.
but being able to just raise the level, right, of the healthcare or the people that we touch, right? That's the mission.
Wow. If you had to say, so your dad started pro level recovery.
Southern Crescent Physical Therapy.
Oh, that's what he started.
Yeah, that's where he started.
And
I changed the
you
name.
changed the name. Tell me about sort of, it seems I'm getting a bit already of the vision that you have. Seems like you have taken on the brand, but redirected it because you have a specific vision. What is the mission and vision currently of pro level recovery, and what is your outlook for the next 5 years?
The mission is simple, is provide the highest level of care, right, to anybody that walks in the door. The vision is big, right? I want to be essentially the leading, right, conservative therapy provider, right, in the metro Atlanta area. Um, and how does that look if it's 10 locations, 15, 25? Not exactly 100% clear, right, on that number, but the vision is, right, being the leading, right, provider in the conservative therapy space, right, in the metro Atlanta area.
Gotcha. Do Would you say that your family believe it, your vision?
100%.
Would you say the people in your office believe your vision?
100%. If they don't, they're not the right people.
Is there anything that you see that can stop you from achieving this in the next 5 years?
Just at a conference yesterday. Um, if God is for you,
Amen. Who can be against you? You know what, man? Well said. Folks, there you have it. You've heard from the man himself, Andrew. I tell you, his youthful energy has excited me when I see him moving through the community, just in his marketing events and initiatives. We're watching. The entire world is
Appreciate it.
watching.
Yes, sir.
You might think it's just a grind, but believe it or not, you're on stage. And the only person that can stop you from achieving whatever that goal is, it could be the most absurd or ridiculous, or it could be the simplest goal. The only person that the competition is with is the man in the mirror.
Lies within.
So, man, I'm here for the journey.
Yes, sir.
I'm here for the ride. 5 years from now, we're going to sit at this table again.
Yep.
So the challenge is on.
Yes, sir.
All right. But
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited, man. Whatever ways that we can help, we're here to support, because I'm a firm believer that when people are of like mind, lock
Right.
in,
Yep.
then great things can be accomplished, especially when they center around faith. All right. So, Andrew, if there is any message that you'd like to leave with young Andrews coming behind, who are looking to navigate their way, but they're fraught with, troubles and obstacles and challenges, what message would you leave with them behind?
First message is keep God first. Keep God first. Right. Build a solid foundation, right, and faith in your family and your support system. If you hang around the people who you hang around, essentially, you'll be the average, right? So hang around, surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Um, and the third piece of advice I would say is mindset, right? Switch your mindset, and positive in breeds positive out, right? Mindset is everything.
Andrew,
Yes, sir.
thanks a lot, my guy.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
I
folks.
appreciate all
There
the
you
support.
go.
Yes, sir.
Mindset. The last point he concluded with: mindset is everything. Man, it was a pleasure talking with you today.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to it. And just before we wrap up, right? If folks want to find you, tell me, where are you located? How can folks tap into your services?
We're located in Fayetteville, Georgia, 220 Banks Crossing, Duluth, Georgia, 3500 Corporate Way, and Buford, Georgia. That's 4300 Buford Drive. Our phone number is 770-716-9121. We're on all major platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, ProLevel Recovery.
Folks, there you have it. Andrew,
Awesome.
Thanks again, my brother.
Thank you. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you
me.
coming on the
Yes,
podcast
sir.
today.
Take a sip.
Absolutely. Yes,
Cheers.
sir. Cheers.